Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode at General Geekery. I am Brian, and as with me, as always, is JD.
Hello.
And today we're going to do a couple things. It's New York Comic Con, so there's a bunch of Hasbro announcements that we were going to touch on. Um, I was just pulling those up, and I just noticed that we talked about it on the last show because I'd done the review of the F5 Batman figures, the 1/18 scale snap kits, and they have the next wave, um, some of the figures previewed because there's a Comic Con going on in Singapore, I think, right now in China. Yeah, China Toy Expo. So there's a lot of stuff that they're showing there. And JD was saying that he hoped that there was going to be a Joker figure. There is going to be a Joker figure in that.
Wait, I
Uh,
don't know. You couldn't do a Batman line without having the Joker in there somewhere.
yeah. Uh, it looks like there's going to be a kind of comic accurate Batman. So the gray and the blue. It looks like there might be a Batman Beyond figure in there too.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So some of it looks like just reissues of the first figure. So
Repaints, repaints, gotta have repaints.
ugh, that doesn't sound good. Joker 1 in 8 cases. That's kind of lame.
Okay, so
That
Batman's number one villain, and
they're gonna make it a chase figure.
that I was gonna say that's not even short pack. That's just barely packed.
Yeah. Well,
That's shitty.
yeah, I'm gonna think about I was gonna pick up the second wave, but it looks like they're not even repaints, they're just repacks on a lot of them.
Oh, that's dumb. At least repaints, you get new variations.
Yeah. So I'm
Remember, remember the Kenner Batman lines for like Batman Returns? They'd have Batman in every color under the sun, and they'd pack different gear with him.
yep.
Um, at least if this line was doing that, maybe it'd end up with like a copper colored Batman or something. But
Yeah. Uh some Star Wars vintage collection announcements. There's gonna be a Sabine with the like riding wolf from Ahsoka in a
yeah,
one of the smaller deluxe box sets, which looks pretty cool. I might have to pick that up. Uh a really nice Dr. I can never say his name from New Hope.
Evazin.
Dr. Evazan figure, and the one I'm excited for is a new Hoth Snowtrooper. That was one of my favorite figures as a kid. So
Yep, still waiting on a Galactic Marine. Practically the same thing.
I
Just
know
make the fucking Marine.
I'm
Um,
I saw that, and that was the first. It's funny you should say that because that's the first thing I thought of is like, okay, now we need a vintage collection Galactic Marine. I'm like, well, now that you have a new decent snowtrooper, maybe they'll do a Galactic Marine off of that
well,
because it,
Commander Bly, no, not Commander, Commander Bakara from Revenge of the Sith. He's the Galactic Marines commander.
yes,
Um, yeah, Clone Commander 1138. He's coming to the Black Series next year, and unexpected wish fulfillment because he's always been one of my favorite Clone Commanders. So, did not expect him to get a Black Series figure, maybe ever or for years. So, if we're getting Bakara, maybe they've got the Galactic Marines on the radar for Black Series and Vintage.
the
Um,
one figure that has not come out in the vintage series or had been announced or previewed or anything that really kind of surprises me is Moff Gideon in Supermando armor. There is one figure in the like the 5 points of articulation children's line, not the retro line, but the line that's geared for.
yeah,
But there's a Moff Gideon in his Mando armor from Mandalorian in that.
yeah. I don't even know if there's been a Black Series announcement of that one, which surprises me because I thought for sure that that figure would be announced for the vintage collection and the Black Series like a month after that episode aired.
Agreed. And I thought it was really weird that the one line it didn't. That I mean, I saw the figure at Walmart a couple days ago. I almost picked it up because it's the only one. I mean, I thought about picking it up and throwing it in my fodder bin just in case it doesn't get released, then I can at least have the head sculpts probably good
Right.
to use. And I have an extra Moff Gideon figure somewhere, so because I accidentally bought two. Um, then the other announcements, of course, saving the best for last, is the G.I. Joe classified stuff. I didn't see any announcements for any new O-ring figures or anything like that. Name only reveals Crystal Ball was one of the yeah was
How
one of
fuck
them.
how
Uh,
fucking random.
Darklon was one of the other name only reveals, and oh, there was one more. Hang on a sec here. Should have pulled
Uh
before.
I'm having a brain fart on it too.
Pull up the full force. We need to get the full force guys on. Um.
I've tried. He's busy.
All right. Oh, God damn it. Hang on a sec. I gotta sneeze now too. Oh, excuse me. Version 4 Snake Eyes was
Oh, yeah, that's
the
right.
other name only reveal.
Um, yeah, that's gonna be a badass figure, and I want to see it like
Uh,
immediately.
I will I will pick that one up. That will be my first classified Snake Eyes figure. I don't know why, but I really like the version 4 Snake Eyes, and I'll be
He
guys over my phone. Yeah. I'll be picking that up. Uh, I
he,
could do
he
without Dark Line, and I could give a shit about Crystal Ball, but that's I think that'll be my first classified Snake Eyes.
okay, here's my theory. Here's what happened with Crystal Ball. Hasbro knows how much they disappointed me with Raptor, so they've decided to make it up to me by announcing Crystal Ball.
All right. Well, that's an
Um,
theory.
yeah, because they fucked up on Raptor by giving him that stupid turbine powered backpack that ruined the aesthetic of the
I
figure altogether.
Stick. I didn't
So
read update.
yes, but I yeah, but as a guy who wanted the whole feather wings and all that shit, yeah, and got that with the
I'm
headdress
gonna
and
say you're gonna see that they're gonna do that in the retro line. That is a perfect figure for the retro line.
well, and then I'll finally buy it. But I will not buy it until then. But yeah, I think they realized that they really dropped the ball with, so they decided, you know what? We're going to pick up the ball and make it crystal, and we're going to announce so that guy will stop bitching about it. Um, because as one of the one of the few who loved Crystal Ball all the way back to 1987, I was so happy to get that figure for my birthday, and it never even bothered me that it pegged warm for so long afterwards. Um,
I've never owned
I
that.
did. I kind of expected. I mean, I expected Crystal Ball would get a classified figure eventually, since Crocmaster
Yeah,
and
Raptor
uh,
got one. Yeah, the big
yeah. So
three gift
there
balls.
was no way Crystal Ball wasn't going to get released, but I don't mind being the person that's happy about it. Dark Line, on the other hand, is terrible. I think it was in the Marauders uh, task force group, maybe, or one of the customs groups a few weeks ago. Somebody made a custom Darklon that doesn't look like Darklon, and it's better. And in his words, I wanted to make a Darklon that was not abjectly terrible, and I agree. Darklon is a terrible, terrible figure, and he is one that I hope they update the shit out of it.
I think the sculpt is nice. I think it would look fantastic in Iron Grenadier colors. If it was black and red with gold, I think it would look pretty cool.
No, I think you're right. I mean, the composition of the figure is weird, anyways.
It is.
Um,
It is a weird
but
figure. I've never owned one, but I've seen it a bunch of times. Um, and I think I've had parts of it, used parts of it for customs when I was doing O-ring customs when I first started. But yeah, it is a weird figure.
Yeah, it's not great. So this is one of those cases where I hope that they actually do a bunch of updating. Not that they have to, I don't think they need to go off the reservation altogether with it and go in a different direction. I think they just need to clean up what they originally did and change some like paint tones and things like that, and maybe make him a little more imposing and a little bit less
Goofy.
fashion nightmare.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see what they do with it for sure. If I did 1/12 scale customs, I would probably pick one up and do it in Iron Grenadier colors. But since I don't, I probably won't. Uh,
Um,
Speaking of retro, the retro line, there were three announcements with renders for the retro line. One of them being Rock and Roll, uh, another being Dr. Mindbender. For everybody that missed the Dr. Mindbender deluxe figure, that was a nightmare to get because even if you could get one, then the the delays on that figure were insane. I never thought I would see mine. Um, and was super annoyed that it took forever to get because then I missed the my chance to have it autographed by Bryant Cummings. So uh,
well,
the third one was the Viper, Cobra Viper.
yeah, they're on display uh at like the figures themselves are on display at New York Comic Con today. So I took another look at Rock and Roll, and honestly, if I didn't like the previous version so much, I'd be down with this one. But I really just like what they did with the other one. Although I understand why they did this one, and it's a great update of version one Rock and Roll. But yeah, I still prefer the previous one they did. But as somebody who didn't even try to get Dr. Mindbender, because for one, I didn't need a deluxe Mindbender, and for two, I wasn't going to try to get a Mindbender after that, after all the hoops you had to jump through to. Um, I might pick it up because it's got the cape at least, but or it's got the cape with the sigil on the back. But I don't know. I still wish they would do a lab coat version
Yeah.
of Mindbender instead. But I get why I get why they did the retro version, because they're like, yeah, we got to find some way to get this figure out to people that could not get the exclusive version.
Yeah.
Um,
The other announcements they made was Footloose, which looks pretty cool. Um, I will be
he
picking.
looks like Pedro Pascal.
I saw somebody else said the same thing. I looked at it a little closer and I'm like, yeah, it sure does.
It really does.
Uh,
Um,
and then there is the Cobra surveillance port, and it comes with a repaint of the Alley Viper. They're calling it the Trench Viper. Um, but if you look at it closely, it looks like the 1997 Alley Viper, almost
um,
spot on for the 97 Alley Viper.
I'll say this for Footloose. I'm not excited about him, but the detail on the sculpt just in that render is phenomenal. Like the zipper pockets on his shoulders, you can see the zipper pulls in the render.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna pick.
and
He was one of my favorites as a kid, so I will be picking that up.
the house that I live in right now, um, somewhere under the driveway pavement, there is my original Footloose figure.
I
He
remember.
got stuck outside, and I didn't realize it until after the concrete was done. And Blake thinks it's hysterical that someday in the future somebody living here is going to repave the driveway and find my old toys under the concrete.
Probably Blake.
But I think I'm not excited about Footloose, but the sculpt details are amazing. He's got pockets everywhere. It's really cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, he's a cool modern update to Footloose.
The other two renders that they showed was uh, a firefighter, in case you get a cat stuck up a tree or you're a paramedic and you need somebody to go get your stretcher from the ambulance for you. And the mass device Snake Eyes with the polar bear, which I think is an interesting choice. Um,
I think it's really cool. I do not need it.
yeah, I'm curious to see if they're going to be doing a mass device now.
They said that this is the beginning of mass device stuff. I have because this one comes with the red crystal element.
Yeah,
I have a feeling they're going to do a set with the blue crystals and the yellow crystals. One speculation I saw said, what if one of the future sets is the Baroness in the dive suit like they did in the DVD box set, and I think that should happen.
I
Um,
do. I would pick that up in a heartbeat.
yeah, dive suit Baroness. It wasn't a great figure then because they used most of that terrible 2007 Scarlet as the base, but the idea was solid
It was.
and done with new parts and attention to detail.
That's going to be a phenomenal figure.
Yeah, because I mean, look at how cool the pilot Baroness is,
Yeah.
and imagine a red diving suit, in the class. And I think they should do that, or maybe a diving suit version of Destro. But oh, come on, people would rather see the Baroness. So,
Yep.
um, as for the third set, which, yeah, I kind of hope that they put a character that, um,
I
kind
saw
of a what's
speculation.
that?
I saw speculation that it would be Torpedo.
Well, if they do another torpedo in the cartoon colors, that would be excellent because he's one of the many Joes that looked very different in the Sunbow cartoon from his original figure. And they have never done that version of Torpedo in the toy line.
I'm gonna guess that's probably what they'll do since they already have a Torpedo out there. Is that they'll just do a repaint of that.
And if they happen to put an alternate head sculpt where
That would be
he
kind of.
doesn't have the hood over his head, I will buy the shit out of that.
They also showed Hiya Toys also showed renders for the new 1/18 scale Joes that they're doing. There's an Outback and um
Torpedo.
Torpedo. That's right. And those are
Um,
pretty much just shrunken down versions of the classified versions.
yeah, and you're definitely gonna buy both of them.
I am. And they also announced Zorana.
Um, yeah, maybe they won't take so long getting Vandar out.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath on that. I wouldn't hold my breath on anything that Hiya Toys is doing. Although I saw the Destro is shipping here pretty soon. So, or has started to ship. Some people have started to get it already. I
um,
have not made up my mind on that figure yet.
you
So
did buy the chase. You did buy the profit director version, though, right?
I
Yeah.
did. I did. I just on a random whim, I'm like, let's see what they're going for on eBay. And I found one for less than $80. And I'm like, that is a steal for a 500, production run limited to 500 pieces for less than $100. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna spring for that. Plus
Are
they
you gonna end up leaving that in the box?
I don't know. I have to see it when it gets there. I've seen pictures of it in the box. It looks like you can take it out of the box without destroying it.
Oh, that's cool.
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Um, but I haven't decided on whether I'm going to get the regular Destro or not. I'm gonna have to make up my mind pretty quick on that because it looks like it is shipping from Hiya Toys, which is I'm super happy to see those figures starting to ship. We did the
Yeah, I
review
was
on,
gonna say they're continuing to actually be made.
yeah,
Um,
We did the review of Firefly and Beachhead on the last episode. Um, and aside from the weapons, they're fantastic figures. I really like them. I think they're great, and I would really like to see this line continue. Um, but I don't know. I still have my doubts that this line can self-sustain without being more readily available in the United States. But I don't know. Prove me wrong, Hyatt Toys. Prove me wrong. I think that was about all the announcements that I had seen. Oh, the other big announcement for anybody that's interested, the new HasLab project is a 1/12th scale Ecto. I was gonna say Ecto 1, but that comes with decals and an interchangeable roof to make it into the Ecto 2 from the second movie.
And
Uh
it includes Lewis Tully,
yes,
which who never got a figure, and it's got the dark um
dark jumpsuits from the second movie.
yeah. So it's cool. I mean, it's nothing I would need to buy, but it's cool. But I have seen a couple of complaints that I agree with. This is entirely the wrong time of the year to launch that.
Around how
People are people are going to start buying Christmas gifts soon.
uh
So this does not seem like an ideal time to unveil that. Although I don't care, but I
yeah,
can I
no,
can see where they're coming from.
yeah, I can see that too to some degree, but it's Halloween. It's, a couple days, couple less than 2 weeks away from how less than a week away, or about a week away from Halloween. Seems like pretty good timing for Ghostbuster stuff to me. But
Yeah,
this close to Christmas, yeah, I can see because that the funding will be, well, I don't know when it's supposed to go live, but I figured that you figured that they'll collect on the funding probably sometime in December because those things usually run for about a month.
yeah.
So if it goes live, say the end of October, runs through November, then yeah, they'll collect on it sometime in December. So yeah, that's gonna,
But to be fair, no matter what time of the year it is, the people who really want it, they're going to buy it anyways.
yeah.
So
Well, and to me that if I wanted it, I'd be like, hey, this is what I want for Christmas. So
right,
so I disagree with that. I think that's actually the perfect time for that because it's right next to Halloween, and when they collect the funding, that'd be a perfect Christmas gift. So because the Sky Striker funded right around Christmas too.
yeah, yeah, it did.
So and that wouldn't work fine. So I disagree with that, but that's just me. I think that was all the announcements that I had seen worth mentioning at uh, that they had revealed at New York Comic Con. The other thing that I was going to mention, we have the guys from Gridiron scheduled for the show, which will be coming up in a couple of days. Uh, and they put out a new announcement last night or the night before for mech legs for the Cobra Trouble Bubble, which make that thing look fucking awesome.
I I saw those. I saw it first posted by Marauder Rubin, and I responded with, "Oh my god, that's phenomenal." You took the flight pod and you're making it a ground-based vehicle, and holy shit, it's got like Veritech legs, and it is fucking badass looking. I had to order it. I will get a great trouble bubble later. But I had to order the legs for now. I have a Python trouble bubble, and I'm sure that they will do the legs for that one too. But damn it, this really sold me on getting a great trouble bubble. So
Yep, I pre-ordered the legs last night myself. I was going to spend my Gridiron money on the rest of the parts that I wanted for my Stinger, but they're doing a special through today's the 19th. They're doing a special through tomorrow, the 20th. If you pre-order the legs, they'll throw in one of their new helmets with it for free. So
Um, yeah, I love that they're including a flight helmet for it. That's pretty cool. Um, there is a small part of me that wishes now that I had kept my Stinger driver, but whatever. Um, um, I might end up making a pilot for it because it feels like it's cool enough that
It
it
does.
deserves to have a pilot.
Yeah.
Um,
I thought about using the figure that came with the ferret for it.
yeah, I think, yeah, I think the mech legs. I don't know who thought of it, but I'm sure glad they did.
Yeah, no, I think that's fantastic, and I'm looking forward to talking to the Gridiron guys about it um, on the next episode of General Geekery. Uh, then the other thing that we were going to do is JD and I both pre-ordered Starduster, and it shipped. We talked about it on the last episode that we both pre-ordered it, and I had forgotten that I had pre-ordered it, and here it is. So we're going to do an unboxing and review of it here.
Now you've never owned Starduster before, right?
I have not.
Um, I have the original Starduster. I bought it. I didn't order it when I was a kid. I bought it back in like I want to say I think I bought it back in like 2000 or 2001. I bought it off eBay. It had the visor, it had the helmet, it had the grenade launcher, it had the jetpack. Um, I had to buy it, and back then it was like $70. So I couldn't find it for this review, but it's around.
Nice.
But yeah, so this is my second Starduster. No, this is my third because I had the Starduster from the one of the 25th anniversary
Yeah.
Toys R Us exclusive sets. Um,
So yeah, packaging's pretty cool. It's kind of the larger size deluxe box. Some really nice photography art on the back with the Cobra fangs, which I assume that we'll be getting at some point in time.
yeah, those are yeah. I think the Fang is pretty much a. I think that's pretty much a guarantee for the classified line at some point.
Yeah.
Um,
Nice art on the side, usual stuff on the other side, bottom's junk, and then the logo on the top. So if you were planning on keeping it on the box in the box, um, I think it's a great one to do that since they've gone back to the window boxing. I'm sure glad that they have gone back to the window boxes. Even though I'm opening 90% of my stuff nowadays, I still prefer the option. Uh, we've got the figure. It's got three sets of hands with it, the traditional helmet, a more updated helmet, the jetpack, flame trails for the jetpack, a knife, a pistol, the binoculars, the grenade launcher, and the regular rifle.
the figure is based on the retro Duke, um, which is cool because I never bought the retro Duke, but I'm glad that I have a figure with that basis now. Um, the yeah, I've got the figure out. Um, I I really like what they did here. The colors are mostly accurate to the original, but the original had these weird splotchy uh, gray um, spots of camo on his, but they've gone with two-tone camo here with like a dark blue and a green. So yeah, much better camo than in the original line.
Yeah, I definitely like the updated color scheme.
Um, the I like that the knife sheath and the holster and the strap are tan, just like on the original Starduster. Anybody who collected the vintage Joe line or has been around and Surf Jojo for Starduster knows that in the original line, Starduster had a bunch of different variations
Yeah.
with parts they used. Um, I sort of wish that along with the Duke Bandolier, they had given us a tan version of Ricondo's holster to reflect that. Because the original Starduster, half the versions used Duke's torso, although I think it's the more well known version. But the early shipments had the Ricondo chest pistol. So um, I kind of wish that they'd also included Ricondo's um, holster here, but let's face it, I'm just nitpicking.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do some sort of retro line release with different parts. And,
Um,
um,
Otherwise, yeah, because I don't have retro Duke. I can see, yeah, this is a really nice mold. Um,
yeah, I don't have the Duke either.
um,
I need to get all this stuff out of here before I throw the packaging away. All the hands and extra stuff's got to go in the bucket so it doesn't get lost.
um, yeah, I don't often switch out the hands on these things, but I like that this one includes a hand with the index finger pointing. Um, so it could do the old Uncle Sam recruiting poster. We want you, or he can, I don't know, tell people to smell his finger or pull his finger, and but so what's your impression? Did you ever want Starduster, or was it one of those things that
I don't, I it wasn't. I don't remember it quite honestly. I don't. I think it was one of those I didn't know was a thing until the internet.
um
I don't remember the mail away for it, and in the little small town that I was in, we never got the cereal. Speaking of which, here, if you get this figure, don't throw away the packaging. Inside your packaging is a punch out for the box of cereal. So
yeah, I love that they included the box of cereal that you can fold up because oh
well,
it even has a nutrition label on the side. But
so yeah, be careful and not to throw away your um
here's I love this. First of all, there's a crossword puzzle, but this here, the Red Rocket restaurant is a it's an Easter egg for the original cartoon because Roadblock's aunt and uncle ran Red Rockets at one of the franchise Red Rocket restaurants, and um, Cobra was trying to take over the whole franchise, and Ricondo and Roadblock they basically stopped Cobra's plans. But I love but this is what the restaurant looked like in the cartoon. And
nice.
I love that they included that on this toy.
I will give them props for really like especially the last couple of years in the packaging on the um non-window box stuff. There are so many nods to the cartoons in those in that box art. It's just amazing.
Um,
In the box art for the figures.
I I have the steel core set with the jump packs, and
I do too.
the uh the the jetpack here included with Starduster is a different color green, and I think that's awesome.
Yep, I
Um,
noticed that. I
um,
put the new helmet on it just because I knew you would put the original
the
helmet.
retro, yeah. Um, yeah, yeah, I love that they included um they gave him two different helmet options so that he can fly recon or he can fly way up way up into the atmosphere with the rebreather. I love that they included Gung Ho's grenade launcher, just like the original Starduster had, because the original Starduster only came equipped with the jump pack and a silver version of
Yeah.
the grenade launcher. But I love that they included it, and they did paint highlights, so it's silver and black. That's nice.
Yeah, they did a really good job with this figure. I'm really impressed with it.
Um,
I was on the fence about it, and then I figured, with the way Serpentor and Mindbender went, that if I changed my mind later, um, I wasn't gonna get one, so I splurged and went ahead and got mine. I need a figure stand. All my figure stands are in the other room.
Anybody wondering why I'm sitting outside today? I'm feeling under the weather and I wanted fresh air. It was stuffy in the house. It was one of those where I had a sweatshirt on because I got cold, but then I took it off because I got hot. But then I was still hot, so I had to turn the fan on. And then I put the sweatshirt back on. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go sit outside. We're going to do this with the Wi Fi because if I've got a breeze or something, I'm going to feel much better. So,
And it looks nice there because I mean it's like overcast and gloomy here because it snowed last night for at work last night up in the mountains.
oh,
So
it actually snowed. Oh, nice. Is so I'm guessing that's the first snow.
yeah, up high. It didn't snow down here in Colorado Springs, but it's just a matter of time. It was raining when I came home.
Um,
The dogs will be happy. They love the snow.
what's that?
Dogs will be happy when it starts to snow. They love playing in the snow.
I was gonna say, don't all dogs love the snow? I think they do. My mother's dog loved the snow. He hated the rain. He wouldn't go out, but he loved the snow.
Yeah.
Um, oh god damn, I love this figure. I love this figure.
Yeah. They did a
They
real
didn't need to, but they did, and I'm glad it's deluxe. And they've got all these extra things, and I love that they actually included the sunbow rifle too.
yep.
Um, but
I really just
you,
don't see any way to improve upon what they did.
no, neither do I at all. Um, um, I could probably find nitpicks if I wanted to, but one, I don't want to, and two, it would be nitpicking because aside of wishing that they had included the chest holster in tan too. And again, I that's just me. That's just being me being a super nerd about it. But dude, this is perfect. This guy is great. And my steel core set, they were
Good Lord, what was that?
there was a motorcycle driving by. At warp speed apparently. Yeah, these are painted better than the flame trail that the steel core set came with. So yeah, I'm really happy that we got Starduster in this line because I remember being excited about the Toys R Us line coming with the 25th anniversary version, but then being disappointed because the version that they came out, I expected it to be a repaint back then, but I remember they used some pretty atrocious parts for it, so I was immediately disappointed. But um, he doesn't even have Duke's head sculpt. This is actually unique. It looks a little bit like Duke, but the hair is starkly different from Duke.
Yeah, no,
Um,
they did a fantastic job with it.
and considering the original Starduster just used short Fuse's head with black hair, um, this fits that bill perfectly. Um, oh yeah, and speaking of these legs, the Duke legs, further uh, further cement the idea that um, the Trench Viper with that playset is looks like the 1997 Alley Viper. That figure, they didn't have the original Alley Viper legs anymore, so they had to substitute. So they gave him Duke's legs, and I love that the Trench Viper also has these retro Duke legs. I have no idea if that was intentional on Hasbro's
I
part, but
I
in
I,
my head, that was intentional.
I have to think that that was extremely intentional. I don't think they
Um,
did an accident.
yeah, I love to think that it was because it's such a weird attention to detail. But my
Which
my
they
thing in
did
the
very well with the classified lines, the attention to detail.
yeah, exactly. So, oh yeah, this Starduster is great. I'm a fan.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and before this packaging, I knew I knew that Starduster's file name was Edward Schuyler, but I have to think that not many other that there was a short list of people who gave that much of a shit. So I'm glad that his file name is now out there for everybody to geek out with.
Where's he from?
Uh, Ohio, I think. I'm better with the file names than I am with birthplaces. But I don't know. Wait a minute. Hang on. I've got the Ojo page pulled up. I can look at it. Hang on. Because I was looking at the variations on Starduster, and
I wouldn't be surprised to see them
oh,
do another Starduster in the retro line with the different parts.
Burlingame, California. So,
All right.
um, in the early art for Starduster, uh, it had his name handwritten as Hedgehopper, and I'm really glad they went with Starduster instead. Hedgehopper is not a bad name, but not cool enough for a jetpack trooper.
No,
Um, um, but
no, I think they did a great job with that. The figure that I would like to see to go along with this is the Create a Cobra.
since they've already done the Steel Brigade, Steel Corps, and Sergeant Slaughter, I have to imagine the Create a Cobra is somewhere in their plans, anyways. They don't have to go bright neon pink with it, but I think it'd be great if they did.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I would love to see a Create a Cobra in the classified line. I think that would be fantastic.
yeah,
And
that's
while they're at it, fucking do a Ninja Viper too. Um,
yeah. You kind of have to think that one's on the way too, with with a decent Storm Shadow mold. That would shouldn't be too
yeah, I have to imagine it'll be an exclusive. Um,
yes.
and I think it's something that they need to do because if I'm not mistaken, I think the 25th anniversary line, I think it had a Ninja Viper. Um,
There was a 25th Ninja.
it was a teal repainted.
Yes, I have it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably got it right.
I have
Um,
just about every specialty Viper that they made. The only specialty Vipers that I do not currently have are convention exclusive ones. Otherwise, I have every specialty Viper that has ever been made by Hasbro.
okay.
So there is
Um,
the Python Patrol Motor Viper that came with a Stinger repaint that was a convention exclusive. I don't have that. There's a Televiper Python Patrol that was a convention exclusive that came with something.
oh yeah, because yeah, there was. Oh yeah, there were two Televipers that year for the convention because there was the traditional one in the gray and yellow, and then there was a black and green version for the parachute drop.
Yeah.
Um,
And there is they I think it was 2006 or 2009. I don't remember which. They did a Arrow Viper, and I don't have that. But aside from those
um,
few, I have every other specialty Viper that has ever been made.
um, what? your home has really just been invaded by Cobra many, many times, hasn't it?
Yeah, this
Um,
you could call this Cobra Island, and you probably would not be around. Um, yeah, that's I'm really impressed with the um with the Starduster. I think they did a great job. I don't see aside aside from switching out a few parts to make the different versions, I don't see anything else that really needs to be done to it. Um,
there's nothing. There's nothing. They don't even they nailed this one. Like they really just man, they did a good job with
yeah, they did.
it.
Wasn't there one that had the airborne torso? Or
No, that was the Steel Brigade. Um,
Steel, yeah, that's what it
yeah,
was.
the Steel Brigade had a bunch of versions too. Um, but yeah, it had the airborne torso or the Duke torso, and yeah, Starduster was either Recondo or Duke's torso. But yeah, um, and then there were a bunch of variations with the waist pieces that they used, which is where the additional versions
I would
come in.
not be surprised. I wouldn't mind seeing them do. I wouldn't pick it up, but I wouldn't mind seeing them do a retro carded Starduster with the Recondo parts and fewer
Um,
accessories. Maybe leave off the flames and um the cartoon rifle and just give them the grenade launcher and the binoculars and the jetpack and and just the regular helmet. Not the updated helmet. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him
yeah,
do.
I like that they included the binoculars because he is a recon guy, and binoculars do help. Um, shit.
So we'll
I'm
see.
looking for the binoculars.
Uh
I
oh.
oh, there we go. No, they blended in with the mat that I'm sitting on the porch. Um,
I
they're the
did
same
find
color. I
Sergeant
found them though.
Slaughter's swagger stick that I dropped on the last show when I unboxed um
Um,
the
oh, good. And that's good thing that stoves in the back of the vehicle because you don't have to worry about losing it again.
yeah, no.
Um,
But
is that what that's called? The I people. Um,
it
yeah,
was
I used
a baton, but it's a swagger stick.
okay, that's cool. Um, but all right, I think that's about all we had for this episode. We just wanted to get it in between episodes because yeah, yeah, this week we've got
And JD's breaking
yeah,
in.
I didn't want to yeah, I didn't want to foist the unboxing on his episode. So
Right.
um um
Plus, we wanted to
plus
do
we had to talk about the
yeah, the announcements for all the new stuff. The one other announcement I almost forgot. One of the figures that I had skipped because it was 1/12 scale. Boss Fight had done a Red Sonja figure that looked amazing, but it was 1/12 scale and $50. And I was like, yeah, if it had been a little cheaper, I probably would have picked one up because I like Red Sonja, and my wife is a huge Red Sonja fan as well. But at $50, yeah, no. Boss Fight announced that they are doing that figure in 1/18th scale, and it is up for pre-order. So go get it.
um
Pretty
I
cool.
was gonna say that seemed to be a surprise announcement the other day.
Yeah, it
Um
was. Boss Fight is Boss Fight's been kind of weird recently. I was also going to mention, I almost forgot. There is a Kickstarter right now for Dime Novel Legends. They're going to try and do the Kickstarter for their horse again. Um, they did a pretty good. they had a pretty good hook for it. They had a not spirit figure that they would give away to everyone that backed it if the Kickstarter fully funded in the first 24 hours, and it did. So they're going to do the horse.
Nice.
Yeah, they're going to do the horse and um, the spirit figure, and then they're doing they call them the cowbra figures. So kind
Yeah.
of the period uh they're doing a like a Cobra Trooper, a Cobra Officer, and a Crimson Guard, and then a Storm Shadow based off the likeness of the actor that was in Deadwood.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's really cool.
I backed it for the horse and the four Cobra figures because
Um,
I really like I really like period stuff like that. So like alternate universe kind of stuff like that. So I'm a sucker for that. So I really just wanted the four Cobra figures. Um, I bought the Snake Eye. Oh, and they did a drill sergeant with Ron Rudat's likeness is in that Kickstarter too.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Um,
Um,
I have the Snake Eyes. They did a Snake Eyes figure, Snake not Snake Eyes figure. Um, and that you can get at smalljoes.com for reasonable price. I mean, those figures are a little more expensive. I only get them if they're super cool or if I need ones for a specific custom. I picked up one of the Dino Novel Legends figures a couple of weeks ago because I'm going to do Marty McFly from the third Back to the Future movie. And
oh, yeah. When he was Clint Eastwood.
yes,
Um,
so that the Dime Novel
um,
Legend figure is they have one that's just perfect. I just need to repaint it pretty much and put a Craniac head on it. I just
um,
sat down to order the Craniac head yet.
you call it an alternate universe. I call it a what if Cobra action of it.
You're breaking up. All right. You're
Yeah,
break-
I know. Hang on, we gotta end this episode. But yeah, we'll be back this week.
Yep. So yeah, stay tuned for later this week. We'll have Gridiron on the show. Um, and then again, we've mentioned that the Robo Skull should be shipping pretty soon. Uh, so we'll have those guys on the show, and I got a shipping notice myself for the first longbow figure. Uh, so
Oh
we're
yeah, me too. Yeah,
so we will get Troy on the show
yeah,
again
for sure.
once we have those in hand. So stay tuned to General Geekery because we do have a whole bunch of stuff planned for a change. So as
Yeah.
please do that fun social media stuff, like, share, subscribe, comment below. Let us know your thoughts on the new Starduster figure if you picked it up. What your thoughts are on the reveals at New York Comic Con. Are you back in the Kickstarter for the Dime Novel Legends? And as always, if you want to see somebody specific on the show or want a specific topic mentioned, put it in the comments, man. We do look at them. And as always, thanks for watching.
All right. Thanks, everybody.